This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're here at the final press conference from Macrory Whittle. Delighted to be joined by Kurt Walker once again. Kurt, 8th fight in obviously 18 months, obviously as a pro. You're sort of taking the Sean McComb mantle. Obviously, I know when he first started, obviously there's a lot of fights, a lot of keep busy. I never get speaking to you obviously after your last fight on obviously SSE, but I'm sure you were relieved that it was obviously a different opponent than what you had in Galway.
Yeah, different. Tough, still tough, but not able to live with my pace and the way I was boxing. I was able to just go in and try and bite him up as much as possible. Thought it should have been stopped a few times, but he stayed in there, and it was still good to get the 6 rounds in, and then I was able to take a nice little break after. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
In some ways, obviously, when you have an opponent like that, where obviously it's looking like you're stopping them, I guess the fear is as well that you can do damage to your hands. Obviously, we've seen people in the past where you do so much damage to someone, and the next thing you bust knuckles or wrists and things like that. Were you having to sort of watch yourself in the fight to watch you didn't go too hard and obviously put yourself out for a while?
Nah, I didn't care because I was going on holiday next day, but I'm boxing from a while. I was 9, so how many years is that? 20, whatever years it is, near 20 years. All my knuckles were bruised for the first time ever. I've never aching, but that went away after a week or so. But that's never happened. It just shows I was whacking them hard, like, and I'm never really putting much force into my punches because of doing so much amateurs. But starting to sit down a bit more, and I was putting everything in them, and I could see the evidence of that in my hands.
I guess obviously the only sort of drawback we sort of had obviously is Mick obviously losing in the night. You were obviously lucky enough you were able to fight beforehand. Obviously Paddy obviously had to come in after him, but have you noticed obviously, I think from what I see of Mick recently, he's obviously taken up the golf. Well, I think he's taken up the golf. I think he's turned into Tiger Woods. But I guess with obviously his defeat, have you sort of noticed any different hunger in him obviously afterwards? You know, I know where you were saying you were sort of looking up to him as a workhorse and stuff in the gym. As different in camp this time around with him not there as much.
Yeah, it's different. It's hard, you know. Even if we're not talking, even if he's just in your room, it's like something as simple as to drive the train every day and talking to someone is massive, and you don't realise it until it's not there. But even after his fight on May 27th, when I went home, I felt like I got bit. There was no, I was going on holiday at like 4 in the morning, there was no buzz. I just went to bed, like, and it was as if I wasn't fighting. It's mad how it brings you down that much, but he'll bounce back. He's hungry, he's mentally strong, the most mentally strong person I know, so I'm looking forward to see what he does next.
This is your first time obviously going to be at Falls Park, obviously because obviously of been in the amateur game, obviously previously you obviously haven't got to them. What do you obviously know of obviously the previous cards they sort of expect? I guess you've obviously had the SSE walkouts, you've obviously fought in Wembley, you've obviously fought in Scotland as well. Is marking off a different venue sort of for you, fighting outdoors as well? Have you ever fought outdoors before?
Wembley, but it's not really outdoors, it's a stadium in it. Well, it kind of is, but this place is crazy. When I went to him fighting Ruiz, it was more like a rave than it was a fight. That's all it was. In between rounds, the music comes back on, the rave music is on, everyone's going mad. I think I was fighting 2 weeks later, so I drove down, but I couldn't even go down to the toilet because every time I went to the toilet they were getting pushed over by people on them. So it was just nuts. I loved it though. I loved the crack of it. I think it was pissing down that night as well. But I'm buzzing for this. Just something different to do. Everything's a different experience, and you improve from stuff like this just being in different venues. Even though you're at home, it's just everything's different, and it's good to get these things behind you.
Well, they have to keep you in your seat, obviously, between rounds. Obviously, when the music's pumping, you obviously want to get up and have a dance. Obviously, you know, when you're hearing that music and you're hearing the roar of obviously everybody outside, it just makes it completely different, doesn't it? And that's what boxing's all about.
That's what it's all about, just enjoying it too. You need to enjoy the moment. It's very hard to do. I found it very hard to do, especially because you just want to get in, get out, kind of that feeling. Unless when you're in control, it's good to keep getting in bison. You actually do enjoy yourself, but I need to go in and enjoy it and just show the things I've been working on with Hates, my coach, and I feel like I'm getting better every single fight, every camp. I'm getting stronger. A lot of people are saying it and seeing it, so I just look forward to adding on wee things every fight.
And obviously your opponent, obviously in Friday night, J. Road Duran, he obviously nearly sounds like obviously a famous singer in a way. What do you obviously know of your opponent? I guess obviously you're sort of doing a bit more homework on him now, obviously after Galway, where you were sort of given a potential really big banana skin, obviously an opponent. Just he must have drunk 10 tins of Red Bull beforehand, but I'm guessing you're sort of keeping an eye on your opponents now to make sure you're not being obviously given another test like that where it's sort of, you know, you don't want to be in the ring with them. There's sort of that mentally challenging.
Yeah, definitely. I think that fight in Galway was as good as any fight I'm going to get at this stage in my career. It was good for me, even though it was tough. You need to have things because you can't have it all your own way all the time. So it was a good fight for me in a different venue that was very warm, and in my first 8 rounders. So I came through a lot of different stuff. But yeah, this opponent there is tough again. Went the distance with Kiko Martinez, so Kiko can bang, Kiko can get people out of there. So if he can go the distance with Kiko, he's alright. So I just need to be at my first game and try not to slip up.
Do you sort of look at that whenever you see an opponent's went the distance with Kiko, you're going, well, I know I'm not going to stop him, so you can sort of change your tactics to obviously be a bit more sort of defensive, sort of not getting into too many, obviously, opportunities where he can cause an upset?
Nah, not even that. It doesn't change really my thing at all, only my awareness of what he can do, because but anyone can be stopped at any time. It just takes one punch. It doesn't. I know looking at someone else not stopping, it doesn't really mean it's going to be the same case, but it's just to give yourself a benchmarker. If I stop him, I stop him, but I'm definitely stronger than I've been, and I'm improving in the gym every day, so I just want to go out and show that there, and if the stoppage comes, then happy days.
And this looks like obviously your last stop before obviously your first pro title. Obviously that's the only thing you sort of missed maybe over the first 8 fights obviously as a pro so far. Getting obviously a belt around your waist, you probably nearly feel like you've achieved something in professional boxing. You achieve so much as an amateur, you probably then feel like you are a fully fledged professional then.
Yeah, definitely. I think I might even get one more in, hopefully in October. I've only done one 8-rounder really, and then went back to 6, so I'll do this one, get something else in October to keep me active, because that's when I'm at my best. I'd like to finish off the year with the title in December, that's when I want it, so then I can enjoy my Christmas, and then there's lots of opportunities in 2024. Once you have one belt, I think you get a ranking from one of them belts, do you? So it gives me a lot of opportunities, and then that's when the fights start to kick in. That's where you can start to grow.
I guess obviously we're bringing a belt home as well, obviously for your wee one as well, obviously that'll make it more extra special. You'll probably lose that, but you're like Sean with his wee boy, obviously once you take that belt home it's gone forever.
Nah, that'll be gone. She wouldn't even care about it anyway, she'll use it as something else, but as long as she knows the crack, it's good.
Yeah, as well, listen, thanks very much for catching up as always. We'll catch up with you obviously after Friday night to see how it went for you.
Thank you, mate, thank you.
Cheers Kurt, thank you.